Welcome, everybody, to the Sales Unscripted podcast. My name is Brian Neal.
And I'm Margaret Henney.
And we're glad that you're here, growing our audience. We have some really kind listeners, lots of kind listeners. We have a friend of ours, our firm, who just loves our podcast. I don't know if she likes attention. She doesn't want to shout out, but she knows who she is. And she has I'll give you a hint. She has a family member planning a wedding right now for next May. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I think it's really sweet. And so she loves hearing about your wedding because she's starting to go through with a family member of hers.
For sure.
And she'll know who this is now. She listens. She's like, "Oh my God, you're talking." But she doesn't like the attention. I don't think so. We'll leave that there. But we're thankful for our listeners. We're thankful that Margaret's going to get married. We're thankful for Derek for marrying her.
Yeah, I
feel like I'm saying
Derek.
A prayer at Thanksgiving.
I know,
like to say
right?
thankful.
Are we going to have our meal
we
next?
We can do that, whatever we want to do. It's on us. And then we'll be
so
doing,
funny.
it's never too, we're doing a huge live event. The Blind Zebra is.
Oh, I was like,
our firm
we're
is
not
huge.
yet.
No, we're not. But that's what it's going to lead into that. So, big live event. We have, I think we just sold out.
Let's go. I'm going to be there.
Margaret's going to be one of our keynote speakers. Just fantastic. She's got a bomb presentation. It's not really a presentation. It's more about an action-oriented thing. It's really, really fun. So we're going to do another one of those next year. And then now that we're getting fun, we love these events. We're going to do another Sales Unscripted event.
Thank God. I was glad you're saying that. We haven't even talked about that.
I know. Well, you got to do one at a time here.
Okay,
so
I know.
Getting good at practicing. So
good idea.
And you got to go get married. Got to do your event.
I do.
You're going
Let's
to Mexico
going to Mexico.
I don't think I knew that. I thought you said you were like taking a break or
No. We're just doing a short one. No, we definitely talked about it because you were like, "Is that safe?"
Well, 100%. I'm still thinking that. I'm trying not to say it so I don't ruin your honeymoon.
No,
it's
going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're just taking a small break to Oaxaca, Mexico, famous for mezcal and mole.
So good.
I know. I love
mole
mezcal.
Too. I used to not like mole because I love chocolate a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it kind of interfered. It's kind of like, don't compete with chocolate. But, you just sort of accept it. But that's true, isn't it?
Also, something crazy, though. A mole does not have to have chocolate in it.
Doesn't have to. Typically does. Doesn't have to.
Like, at least in America, usually when we think of mole, it does have like chocolate in it. But
let's be real. Our Mexican food, which is the fucking bomb in the United States, is not Mexican food.
No.
If you talk to anyone who's from Mexico, the shit you guys eat is not Mexican food. It's American Mexican food. Where you're going is real.
The real deal. We love food, and it's going to be this sweet little town, and I planned my wardrobe. And
oh, really? Look at you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. You're going to have so much fun. You're going to have so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you, too. Let's see. And then it's like...
Live event, spring.
Spring live event. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for that. We talked about animals together, like dogs and stuff.
Oh, I know that you do not particularly care for dogs.
I don't. Yeah. See, now everyone hates me. See, Pete, you say that, and everyone's going to hate me. What an asshole!
No.
I'm going to stop listening. Who doesn't like dogs? I'm serious.
Well, you're not kicking them.
When you be authentically honest about your relationship with animals, if it's not the answer that you're supposed to say, everyone hates you.
I know.
You don't like animals? You must be a criminal. I'm like, no.
Criminal.
I just have a thing. So I love dogs, certain types of dogs. I have some pet peeves. This is one of the things I want to ask you about.
Okay, tell me.
One of the pet peeves is, to me, the owner's in charge of the dog in most scenarios. That's what I think, right? I heard a comedian talking about this. He goes, you really don't adopt a pet. You really kidnap it from its mom, is what you really do.
It's true.
And then you hold it hostage with the leash around its neck. You do what I say when I say.
I'm
literally, you think I'm in charge, right? You're master, right? You work for me. It's like true. But so some people think that everyone loves dogs, and therefore when their dog comes and jumps on you, they think everyone likes it, right?
You cannot do that.
And I was at the grocery store a while back, and there was a dog in the grocery store. Fine, it's a neighborhood grocery store, and the dog jumped up onto the counter where you pay for your stuff.
Ew. No, your groceries are there.
Thank you. I'm
Disgusting.
like, what are we doing? There's got to be some sort of. I'm looking for what is proper pet etiquette.
Well, that ain't it.
Proper pet etiquette. Or now this is a huge pet peeve too. When I fly. Yeah. All you got to do, you know this, right?
I know.
You got to strap a little vest on Sadie, and she's all of a sudden she's
a
service dog.
Exactly.
And I know I shouldn't do this, but I watched it. I'm like, I want to know what's wrong with you.
Listen,
I want to know why
that Maltese is not a service dog.
I don't think so. The dogs I'm seeing don't seem to be service dogs to me.
No.
And then if you need a service dog and I get mental
Wouldn't
health.
you be pissed if you really needed a service dog too? And all these
100%.
I would be
100%. If people are and then if you say, well, I need it for comfort. I'm like, well, if you need it for comfort, aren't you going to be stressed that your dog is discomforted on the plane sitting next to?
You know what? Like, maybe an unpopular opinion, but I'm actually really on board with you on this.
Thank you.
And also my father, when there are pets on planes and also pets in hotels.
Yes. Oh my God.
Dad is mad. He's like, what the fuck are we doing
serious.
Here?
I'm with I'm with him. I'm with him. And would you please say my dad, not dad?
Oh, I know.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's an Indiana thing
it is
too.
An Indiana thing.
So I talked to Dad. Dad talked to Mom.
Dad
and I'm like, it's your dad and your mom, not ours. It's yours. So say mine.
That's right. It makes it sound like we're siblings.
So I'm just curious about just general pet etiquette in the world. It's just a thing. I don't hate dogs. Don't hate on me. I'm just being real. Just like same deal. And the dog. There's a dog on my flight, and it's like just barking the whole time.
No.
And then some people think it's funny. It's like, oh, little guys, all that. I'm like, it's not okay. It's not okay.
No.
To do something. This is not okay.
Also, I do not believe for a second that a service animal would be like a well-trained service animal would be barking during the flight, like dead giveaway, right? You're totally. Like, what? You just outed yourself.
Yes. And if you need a service dog, God bless you.
Oh, of course.
I'm a mental health guy. I'm a user. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm all for them. I'm not saying I'm not for them.
That's what
I'm
saying.
saying though, I do think people are taking advantage. I do. It's hard for me not. I mean, I know I'm a pattern noticer. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm watching this. This doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
At all. Anywho.
Okay, we got to get to the topic. We could
What's
talk
the topic?
about this.
I know.
I don't know.
Topic is people that know what to do and don't do it.
Yeah.
People that know what to do and don't do it. So
let me give you the backstory on this.
Yes.
So I love big fan of Tim Ferriss. I think he is wonderful. I love his guests. They're always so insightful. You have great takeaways from it, whatever. Because there's a lot of podcasts that you could listen to, hopefully not ours, where you leave and you're like, I don't feel better. I don't feel
right.
Not that you've whatever. I don't know. So anyway, he had this great podcast. I think it's his most recent one. He had a happiness expert on it. I know that sounds bogus, but I love that shit. And this guy, like Tim asked him, like, hey, when was like something about like when did things change for you? And he was like, actually, I was studying these things. I knew a lot about happiness, but I wasn't actually applying all of this in my life, where he was just waking up and being like, well, I hope it's a good day to get today.
Yeah.
But he was coaching people on really like tangible, tactical things that you could do to be happier in your own life.
Yes.
And I almost fell off my treadmill because I was like, holy shit, what is it in my life that I know a lot about, but I'm not actually acting on it?
Yes.
And there's a lot of things I could think about, but I was like, I knew we were having our podcast today. And I was like, you know what? I think this comes up a lot in sales because I've heard people say, whether you go to a coach or you're listening to your, sales leader or whatever, people are like, I know that. You're not telling me anything new.
Yeah, I do that.
Wasn't there new material? Like, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? You might know all this, but are you doing anything with it? And so I am very like, I was driving in today. I was all like hype about it. Like, I want commitments.
Yes.
I want commitments at the end of this podcast.
This is such a great topic. And in the coaching world and sales, especially with doing sales work with hundreds of salespeople a month. And tens of thousands over a whole bunch of years. This is such a systemic thing in the sales function.
Yes.
Is that people learn something, they think they've got it, and they want to go learn the next thing without mastering the thing they learned before. Okay.
Yes, 100%.
That's the absolute truth. We had a client. They listen. They're good. They love them. They're great.
Yep.
They're like, hey, our group, we need to go faster. We need more tools. I'm like, okay, let's roll.
How those
but
current
you know
tools
what?
Going?
I'll tell you this: if I spot check you guys on a tool and you're not using it, it's no bueno. It's not okay.
Right.
It's not a quantity thing. Nick Saban is the head football coach of Alabama.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
He has this little saying, love him or hate him. He says, most people, I may have said this in the podcast, I don't know. Most people practice until they get something right. That's what salespeople want to do. Practice till I get it right. He says, we practice until we can't get it wrong.
Oh my God.
It's a totally different way to think about it. We don't practice till we get it right.
Yes.
We practice till we can't get it wrong. And that's what salespeople miss when they're learning something new.
I mean,
they're like,
it's just,
okay, I got
you
this.
don't
I got
think
this.
about it.
No, you don't. Yeah. I was teaching something yesterday, a tool. And I've like, if any of you have, like, we had a whole bunch of new people in this program. It's like a public program. We had this group, and season group is good. We work with people who are already really good. That's part of our deal. And so this group guy's like, I did this. I call it power. I was doing prod pods.
Oh yeah.
Very prescriptive. Step 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go, you do it exactly like this. Most people are like, I do that. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. You think you do, but you don't. This guy said, I did something similar. I'm like, okay, just, okay, good for you. First, great. And he said it fizzled away. Like fizzled away. I'm like, when's the last? I know when the last time you did it was, but I almost guarantee you it was.
It's been a minute.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And I say, no, you do this pod, you set the meeting.
Yep.
You recur it to eternity.
Totally.
And you do it every time in the 8 steps it's written. Do that. And I promise you this shit works.
Yeah.
It does. It's not perfect, but it works. It'll work over time.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, when you follow those steps, and I want people to think about it too, because like there's a lot of tools that we talk about, right? Or things that you can do. Like start with 1, start with 2, you know, like whatever, the most important basic ones that are going to get you results. For me, the biggest one that really changed my sales career was CFDs. That's one of the biggest ones that you can, clear future dates, if you don't already know. And then you do it every single time, no excuses. Also, doesn't work every time, almost every time, but not every time. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing it.
Truth.
Right? So you keep doing that, and then you can add to your repertoire.
Yes,
right?
very good job. Very good job on the French.
Thank you. Repertoire.
Very good. Repertoire. Repertoire.
Okay.
Really good.
But that sort, like, talk about grind my gears. Like that shit really just makes me so like frustrated, because I'm like, you have things that you could be doing just because you know it. Doesn't mean that you're executing on it. And like execute. That's what you've got to do.
Yes. It's a great inventory to take, to just think back as Margaret and I are talking, like what are some of those things? I'll give you a couple of examples.
Yeah, throw them out.
So people know they need to be active on LinkedIn. This is great. So I've got a client going through this right now.
Okay.
So when we teach our trade show work, we got a whole big, like loads and loads of content around how to do trade shows. Okay. One of the things we go pre-show, show, post-show. One of the pre-show things is activation on LinkedIn. Okay. And so what happens is people do what I tell them to do, because I make them do it in class, and they put a post up about this event they're going to, and they tag some people in it. Great. And then no one responds. And they go, that didn't work.
Doesn't work. Yeah.
That's not what happened. What happened was you didn't do what I've been telling you for the last 6 years, which is you need to post and respond actively 3 times a week for 6 years. That's how you get noticed, and you get moved up in the algorithm on LinkedIn.
Yep.
So it's not that, so it's something they know to do that they're not doing, and then that's causing the second tool to not work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing. Yes.
So
what's another thing? What's a base? So you had CFDs as one. I would say consistent LinkedIn behavior.
Yep.
Consistent would be that I'm not like liking, scrolling. We've got a tool for this, but either a thoughtful comment or a thoughtful post or a video 3 times a week.
Love that.
Right?
Yep.
3 times a week. So people go, well, how many times should I do it? I just told you 3 times a week. Audit yourself. Go to your activity.
I'll audit myself right now and be like, I need to get back and, and start doing it.
You know to do that.
So
you know to do that.
it's like you can fall off. That's okay.
That's okay.
But like, let's not say that doesn't work, or that I need new tools. Be like,
the difference.
All right, I got off track. Time to get back on track with the things that I know that work. Another thing, and not everyone has the luxury of having a tool like this, but we used Gong for a while at Code Video, and I loved it.
Yes.
So it records and analyzes your sales calls or your demos or whatever, and it showed me that I was talking way more than my prospects were talking.
Really?
Yes. Shut up. You're
If you see the video, Margaret was so excited I was agreeing with her. I was actually being a smartass.
You're so sarcastic. Okay, I guess that's not surprising. Obviously.
Am I sarcastic or are you gullible? Or both?
Probably both.
You're like, yes, Brian. Can you believe it? No way. Are you serious?
Oh my God. This is going to be one of the things that Nick takes and puts on social media, by the way. He loves it.
So funny.
God damn it.
Carry on. Keep talking.
Anyway. But to have that reflected back to me in a way that I was like, I knew for a fact, because it was like, you are talking 70% of the time. They are talking 30% of the time.
Yes.
Like, and I knew that then, and I was like, I do not want that analysis on my next Gong. I am going to like actively try to suppress, ask more questions, leave more room for them to respond. Because I'm also like an anxious person sometimes, where if there's silence, I'll fill it. But like, silence is cool. Shut up. I'm doing it again.
You're not.
Okay, so listening more than I'm talking. Your turn.
It's so hard for you to not
You're
talk
testing
right
me.
now. I am 100%.
And I hate it.
Your face.
Don't.
You like couldn't like. Please talk. Someone talk. Why is there no talking?
Well, it's a podcast, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this though. Okay, say do this. Go listen to any real popular radio show.
Yeah.
Not all, most. So a talk show, a talk radio show. Hit a stopwatch on the amount of silence there is. you'll be listening to something and you won't realize it, but when you put a stopwatch to it, good radio hosts leave a lot of space.
Oh.
They do. They're not constantly talking like you'd think a DJ, would be.
I'm going to work on
Hey,
that.
Brian Neal, 3 to 5 here on WZPL till you drive homes. Beautiful day outside. That's not that.
That's
as a
me.
DJ. It's a talk show. So
Got it.
Pause.
Okay.
But I love when you talk, though. My wife's a talker, too. And I actually am an introverted extrovert. So I seem extroverted, but actually, am really quiet.
Totally would have thought you're
And so Steph just talks.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you tired of me talking? I actually love it. I actually love. So I love that when the space gets filled because it takes pressure off of me.
Oh, good.
to not
Okay.
fill the
Well,
space.
hey, this is
So
why
that's
we
the
make a
thing.
good team.
Amen to that. So we have things that you should do that you're not doing. I'm going to give another one here.
Let's hear it.
So we have Clear Future Day. We have some LinkedIn activity. We have pausing and leaving space for a conversation. Another one that everyone knows to do and they're not doing is talking about the economics of a deal early stage in the process. And I'm going to define that as first or second meeting.
That's good.
Most people know they need to be talking about it, and
Yep.
yet they get down the path of the what and the how with their thing, the demo and how it works and how many people would be on it and all this stuff. And then at the very end say, well, let me get you some pricing. You can't go through that whole, you got to do it up front.
You have to have that
to.
conversation like live. Like you do not want them to go away and be like, because some questions or concerns or whatever will come up and you want to be there to have that conversation
Always.
with them. I remember the easiest thing for me when I was selling was setting it up where I would be like, this was like on more of a traditional like SaaS demo, right? Where
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, here, we're going to do this, then I'm going to hear from you. At the end, if it makes sense, we're going to talk about pricing.
Love
And so I tell them and I say, does all that sound good? And they're like, yep, sounds good.
Yes.
And so it's not just for them. I've also done it for me where I'm like, okay, Margaret, there's no backing out. We're definitely talking about pricing and you already set the expectation and they already agreed to it if it makes sense at the end of the call.
Yes.
But anyway.
There was, as a buyer, a local company who has a great reputation, just phenomenal work. We got connected to this. So you might want to talk to these people. It can really help you flesh out some stuff that you're working on. So we had a meeting with the CEO of the company just because the connection was kind of a founder-to-founder sort of deal. And me and Steph and this person got together twice, I think 90 minutes each time, maybe a third time with a part of their team. And then we talked the pricing.
Okay.
And my head almost fell off.
Oh, God.
Not because it wasn't worth it, just it didn't make any. If we would have had a quick economics conversation, where are you guys at revenue wise, sales wise, whatever, it was like he would have said, okay, you don't need us yet. You need a couple more years to get your revenue up to a certain place. Now, of course, easy now, but back then, 5 years ago, wasn't there. And
God, it's going to save yourself a lot of time.
I know everybody. I'm like,
Yep.
and you know what helped? What it sucked for me was as the buyer, I got so excited about the thing, and I really wanted to do it so badly, and then got the price. I had this awful taste in my mouth.
Shit, you
I'm
were
like,
attached.
And I, as the buyer,
As the buyer,
and
right.
the problem is, a lot of salespeople think like that's a good thing. Well, I roped you in, I got you. It's not when the
No.
economics is too far off. Now it's been a letdown.
Yeah, right.
It's like what are we doing here? I don't know.
That feels like a gotcha.
It
Not
does,
that
and
he was
he
necessarily
not at
meaning
all.
to do
No.
that, but
and he's not that way. He runs
Yeah.
a great company. They're really good at
Yeah.
what they do. It was a massive inefficiency,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have liked the counsel from him to say, "Tell me where the numbers are," and then go, "Okay, time out here. You guys
Mm-hmm.
are awesome. You're on a great path. You're not ready for us yet. You'll probably be ready in 3 years.
Okay,
So
yeah.
let's get ramped up for that. We'll stay in touch over time.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
that works.
So instead, we went and did this thing without him.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him, but
Right.
it's like, so we know that we need to talk about the economics
Early.
and we don't do it. And we
Okay.
don't do it. And some of you listen going, oh my God, he's right.
I
Right. They're right. They're right.
I got one more for you.
Oh, let's
That's
do it.
okay.
Last one. Yep.
Video. Surprise!
Surprise! I got one. Video? What do you mean video? Well, here at CoVideo.
Funny you should ask.
It's called product placement in the
I
marketing
know.
world, isn't it? Right?
But
So-
listen, here's the thing, because
Okay, I'm listening.
I hear from people a lot where they were like, I get it. It makes sense. I'm all on board. And then the excuses start, right? So actually this is, I'm not blowing anything because this won't be out by the time, well, will it? Okay, anyway.
Doesn't matter.
When
Go
I come
ahead.
to the live event that you guys are putting
Yeah.
on, I'm going to be doing like basically like a hands-on, like,
Totally.
hey, guess what? I know you guys hear about video from Brian all the time and from me.
Yep.
We've beaten that dead horse enough. We're going to pull out our phones right now. We're going to conquer some fears and get over some shit.
Love it.
And because people, they're like, I know, gosh, I know I should be doing that. It's sort of like eating healthy, drinking a lot of water, you know, you name it. But the excuses come, you're not doing it. Not a big deal, but
Nope.
like just commit to it and start doing it. And like I said, it doesn't have to be this one thing. Any of the things that Brian and I have just thrown out right now, I
Yes.
challenge you to pick one of them that you are not doing. And starting, because we're almost at the last quarter, baby, last quarter of the year, stick to it for 1 quarter.
That's it.
That's it.
1 quarter.
Commit. You can commit
Right.
to one new thing, doing it every time consistently.
You know to do
and
it.
once you've mastered that, move on to the next one.
You know to do it.
So
And I will say just one thing about the last quarters we're heading into that we'll do some
Mm-hmm.
work on this here in a couple episodes. We're already there.
Mm.
It's September 15th. You know, we're already
with
we're already there.
holidays.
Yeah, holidays. I mean,
and-
and you look at your sales cycle, it's more than 30 days. You're there. You're making your year is going to be pretty much done here in the next couple of weeks.
100%.
So this is a great time to plug some of these things in to do what you know. Do what you know to do.
Yep.
All right. It's a great,
Yep.
great inventory. That's good.
I love it.
Okay, that's
Cool.
it. So we'll take some video from our big event that we're doing. You'll see Margaret on stage.
You will.
We'll I'll have equipment. Maybe I'll even bring the equipment. We'll do like a pop-up session. while
That'd be
we're
so
there. Would that be fun?
fun.
Are you coming to the
Yes.
after party?
Of course. I'm
Maybe
coming
we
the
should
whole
have the mics
thing.
there, too.
I love it. Let's do it.
That's what clients need to know. If you invest yourself in Blind Zebra, and you come to these big events, and you get to come over to our house for private sushi dinner.
I'm so
How
excited about
that?
the
It's gonna
sushi
be
dinner.
Awesome. The
Let's
sushi
go.
is stupid good.
Oh my God, I
His
can't
name's
wait.
Eric. He's so awesome. He's just
Can't
great.
wait.
So. Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening.
Later, guys.
Bye.